More on the response to the violent protests in Los Angeles, we want to bring in former acting DHS Secretary and America First Policy Institute Executive Vice President Chad Wolf. It is always great to have you, my friend, especially for circumstances like this, because it's your perspective that I really feel like it gives us context for what not only is happening, but should be happening as we watch these pictures play out. Your immediate reaction to what you saw over the last 24 hours happening in America's second largest city, Chad.
Yeah, that's good to be with you. Look, this is very reminiscent of 2020, right? Where we saw for months and months various cities around the country burn, rioters and looters and the like, and specifically in Portland, which I dealt with very personally for over 3 months in 2020. And so you see this playing out now in Los Angeles. Look, if you don't get a handle on this very quickly, what happens over time, right? If this continues to go on and on, you start to get more and more of the professional protesters and agitators coming into a place like Los Angeles or outside of Los Angeles. And so what President Trump and his team are doing right now is saying, look, we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to have this drag on for days and weeks. We're going to put an end to this because clearly the governor and the mayor, just like in Portland and Oregon, didn't step in on day one. Instead, they let it play out for 3 months. And in 3 months of having law enforcement attacked and brutally attacked, we shouldn't have it replay here in Los Angeles. So we need to get a control of it. And then they need to prosecute, which didn't occur in 2020. DOJ, Department of Justice, and others need to prosecute anyone that they pick up destroying property or obviously assaulting law enforcement.
Yeah, we saw the same thing play out here in the nation's capital. If you are lax in your response, it just gets worse and worse and bigger and bigger. Let me share this. This is from Caroline Leavitt, again, talking about the White House's position to remain steadfast in the face of all that's happening in Los Angeles. This says Caroline Leavitt. She says these operations are essential to halting and reversing the invasion of illegal criminals into the United States. She keeps going and she says this: in the wake of this violence, California's feckless Democratic leaders have completely abdicated their responsibility to protect their citizens. Not sure you can make it better than that, my friend.
Well, that's exactly right. Look, these are law enforcement agents, ICE law enforcement agents given a mission by Congress to enforce the law and to remove dangerous criminals from those communities. And for instance, if the two senators from California don't like this, where's the bill introduced to abolish ICE? They're not doing that because they know better. They know that you need law enforcement to protect your communities. But what the left is going to do with the governor, the mayor, and you even showed a congresswoman from California, what they're going to try to do is tell the American people that these are all peaceful protests. And somehow the Trump administration is against that. And obviously the images that we're seeing is anything but peaceful. When you cross the line and you attack law enforcement, you start burning property and destroying property, you need to be held accountable. You need to be arrested and you need to be prosecuted. And that's what should be occurring today.
You know what a lot of folks, Chad, are saying is the governor needs to be held accountable as well. Gavin Newsom has been making the argument that, listen, there's no need to come in and escalate things, you know, calling on the Marines or bringing in tanks and big, heavy armament. It's simply not necessary. He says we can handle this. This is a local issue. And obviously that is belied by what's happening in the pictures. Two-part question. One, what, if anything, should happen to him if he refuses to do his job to protect his citizens? And two, what could possibly be the motivation from his perspective to not want the extra help? I don't understand it.
Well, I'm not sure I understand it and have an answer for you on part two. Part one is obviously the constituents and the residents of California obviously need to take action as far as the next election. But look, I saw this again. Sorry to go back, but in 2020 with Portland, I dealt with a feckless Oregon governor who refused to take any action. And I see the same result happening in California right now. And her response to me at the time was, let's not do anything and this will just go away on its own. It clearly didn't. This will not either. You've got to take dramatic action. And if state and local, and if it takes LAPD 2 hours to respond to an incident from ICE, it shows you their priority is not there. So you're actually going to need federal officials to come in, protect law enforcement. It's very important, though, that ICE continue these operations, because if you let this occur in California, you're going to see other jurisdictions in major cities, similar actions.
Let me share this. This is from Christy Noem. She says, listen, one thing that people aren't talking enough about is the fact that people will continue to be hurt. And we're not just talking about hurt in the process. We're talking about hurt by some of these illegal migrants who have been targeted by ICE. We're talking about rapists and murderers and people who have created mayhem. Listen to Secretary Noem, get your reaction on the other side.
If he was doing his job, then people wouldn't have gotten hurt the last couple of days. We wouldn't have officers with a shattered wrist from bricks being thrown through their vehicles being burned, flags being burned in the street, and Molotov cocktails being thrown. Governor Newsom has proven that he makes bad decisions. The president knows that he makes bad decisions, and that's why the president chose the safety of this community over waiting for Governor Newsom to get some sanity.
Kind of once again weighing in there on this idea that the governor, knowing full well that it needed a much more fulsome response, seems to be willing to sit back and let it all play out.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the secretary is correct. Look, either you're for law enforcement or you're not. And if you're not going to have a forceful response to make sure that you are not only continuing to remove criminal elements from your community, but hold those accountable that are impeding those operations or attacking law enforcement. And if you're not going to do that, then you're against law enforcement. You're sending them out there each and every day with a badge and a gun. They don't know if they're coming back to their family and loved ones. And all they want to know is that their political leadership, and in this case, the governor of California, has their back. And he clearly doesn't. And so I think that's concerning. And I think what you see from President Trump, Secretary Noem, and others, and they're saying, look, if the governor doesn't have your back, we will. And so we will send a National Guard. We will make sure that this does not continue to happen, because as I said, if you see this continue to play out in the next several days and weeks, you're going to see more and more of these professional protesters and agitators coming into in places like Los Angeles.
Yeah, and we saw, as you pointed out aptly, we saw this play out for weeks and weeks up in Seattle and even in Portland and other places as well. Chad Wolf, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.